Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats. This is your weekly English Premier League show where we discuss all things happening in the English Premier League. My English coach seemingly is running out, so we need to be a little bit quick about it. However, there are some people who are not happy this week. There's some people who are ecstatic, and so we decided to bring in some ecstatic people. You can see we've got a full house. It's a 6-box, which is probably the first ever on the cheap seats. We've got Teppa, we've got John, Wahid, AB, and Dean to kind of laugh at the Manchester United corner there at the bottom. But outside of that, we need to still talk about what's happening in the league. Before we One World Sports Radio is still covering the ICC T20 World Cup in the UAE. So whether you like Quinton or not, please come and support us. We'll talk about him. We might not talk about him depending on how it goes. But outside of that, please do also just subscribe to our channel. Let's start off with the first topic of the day, gents. Liverpool. Are Liverpool back? Are they back? I'm going to start with Jean, because it's you. But Jean, tell me, how was Sunday for you? That's the first question for you. How was Sunday? How did you feel?
Shocked, astonished. At the same time, I don't actually think it's the best we've played. And I mean, I would like to say, I mean, no disrespect to Manchester United, but they made it far too easy for us. In saying that, we took our chances, and that was ultimately the difference. At the start of the game, United did have a lot of chances, and there was a 20-minute spell in that first half where you thought, hang on a second, like they could really get back into this. And I even mentioned to Wahid, either this game is going to end up 2-1 to United, or it's going to just be an absolute thrashing for Liverpool. And there was one goal in it which changed it. In my opinion, that was the third goal for Liverpool, and then it was just a lesson in football. It was absolutely crazy. As a Liverpool fan, I am sorry to say, but it was an absolute thrashing, and I would say we are back to our 2018-19 levels, but our team is a little bit different at the same time. So there's a lot of cool things to look forward to, and different makeups of the team.
The one thing that worries me, Jean, are the injuries. It looks like there's quite a lot of injuries piling up now at Liverpool, and also you've got the AFCON with Mo Salah going away. That's literally taking the best player in the Premier League out for 8 weeks. How are you feeling about
in the world?
Yes, I'm talking about the league. Then we'll talk about the world. But yeah, okay. Best player in the world. I'm not fighting with you guys, but how are you feeling about that? Do you think you guys are leading to being favorites, even with that period where Mane and Keita's not going to be an AFCON with that injury, but Mane and as well as Salah gone?
Just an update on Keita. Actually, it's not nearly as bad as everyone thought. It seems to be that he is not going to be out for a very long time. So that's good news.
That's good news, yes.
In terms of the injury front, obviously, you saw Fabinho was out. That's also not technically serious. Thiago's looking to come back after the international break. Milner's out. Jones is back, but the midfield. There was a worry that the midfield would become our defense from last season. That could happen, but we look to be in a better place than we were literally even like 3 days ago, just with this recent news of Keita. So it's going to require a lot of team management from Klopp. I am specifically worried about that AFCON period, because there was talks that they would find an alternative arrangement for Mane, Salah, and Keita to go to Cameroon just before the tournament starts. There's still not actually verification that the tournament is going to go ahead when they want it to go ahead. I don't know if you,
because they don't have a broadcaster at this point in time as well.
That is a serious issue, and Motsepe has a lot of work to do.
Welcome to Africa, everybody.
We're not laughing.
They brought out the tender at the beginning of this week, so they'll have a broadcaster, but it's October and the tournament starts in January. Let's go to the corner. Wahid, just take us through through some of the emotions you were going through on Sunday. Obviously, you've had a 6-2 before, so you kind of had that Spursy feel to it. But this time it was the rival. It's Liverpool. You don't care about everyone else. You care about beating Liverpool, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, the word is numb. Such a, and I think my wife, it was the first time she's seen that kind of reaction in our 10 months of marriage to a football game. Yes, I was broken after the Europa League final, and I shed a few tears after the final of the Euros when England lost. But I think this was one of my worst moments in football. It was worse for me than losing by 6-1 to City. It was worse than all those results. I just felt, as Jean said, I just didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy the players giving up, and especially what I really hated about it was Liverpool showing mercy to us. It was like that made it like so much worse when they showed us mercy. They toyed with us for 35 minutes. They could have made it 8. But they turned Old Trafford into a training ground. They pinged it amongst themselves. I mean, that for me was the worst part. That was the most humiliating thing I've ever felt in football. Was Liverpool just showing mercy to Man United? I mean, I would never have expected United to do that. And the fact that got done to us by our biggest rival, our the team we hated the most, just made it absolutely awful. It was one of the worst moments I've had.
AB, did you want it to be 8? You didn't want Liverpool to take a foot off the gas and just, play tiki-taka, make it good, have the Ole's being sung out of the opposition half?
I mean, I didn't want it to be 8. No United supporter wanted it to be 8, but I felt embarrassed that Liverpool just started chilling. And yeah, I have nothing else to I was just pissed off with the United players on the field just giving up and showing that they didn't really care, because that's what it felt like. There were thousands of fans leaving, and as Wahid says, you're losing to your biggest rival. And I actually feel like United and Liverpool aren't rivals anymore, because a rival means you're competing for something similar, and we're not competing on the same playing field. Liverpool are competing to be the best in Europe, to be the best in England. United are competing for survival now. We should be rivaling guys like Norwich. That's
and you're not playing Carabao Cup. This week, we're all playing Carabao Cup. You're not. So that's another story for another day. Teps, my man, are Liverpool title favourites? Because you obviously are a Chelsea supporter. You've got City in and around you. Are Liverpool title favourites? Because this was their coming out party to me and everyone else who wasn't a Liverpool supporter or a Manchester United supporter. We just sat there going, oh snap, they can put 6 on you.
Look, I never had my doubts about Liverpool, but just I want to say, I said this last time I was on the show, that Manchester United are no longer at the big boys table. You guys scoffed at me, and this weekend proved it. Your coach just isn't there. But let me go back to the question. Yes, they are title contenders. They were always title contenders. Their attack has always been devastating, quick. Mohamed Salah, that guy is literally the best player in the world right now. If he does not get Ballon d'Or, it is an injustice. A 2018 injustice. It's disgusting. This guy is...
And this is coming... Wait, so you don't want Jorginho to win it?
No, man. Jorginho's great, bro. Jorginho's great. He's great in the midfield. But I mean, we're watching the new Messi. Jorginho's great in the midfield, but he needs a team. He needs finishers around him. Mohamed Salah, guys, sure. He just broke the African record for most Premier League goals for an African. 107, Didier Drogba. This man is up there. Liverpool are probably... You guys, I'm sure, Jean, you're sitting here. If Mohamed Salah goes, you're going to cry. You're going to weep, because this man he's the real deal. He's the real deal. So, yeah, no, they've always been title contenders. And the only reason they weren't in the conversation last year was because of injuries to major players. I mean, Virgil van Dijk out, and that was an ugly way to go out. And you guys were basically just fighting for centre backs. It was great for fantasy because you had someone there, 4.0. Maybe Liverpool could pull something else, but now that the core of the team is there and it's established, and Jurgen Klopp is rotating a whole lot better. I think I was watching an athletic YouTube video talking about how if you put someone in from the bench, it doesn't compromise the quality of the team. I mean, Matip wasn't there, and he's been having some incisive passes from the back. And now Konate, yeah, he did pretty well against United, even though, to be fair, United weren't playing that game.
Guys, it's United.
Yeah, they weren't playing that game.
He was shaky though. He was shaky in the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean,
he was,
that's
but
when
he
United
grew
were.
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
John,
And
let's
Remember,
actually
United
talk
put 5 past Konate's Leipzig last year. So
Well,
there was
how
two
did that work?
demons, yeah.
How did that work out? John, Ibrahim Konate, speak about him, because I'm so impressed. I was so impressed by him throughout that entire game. You obviously we've got Cristiano on the other end. You sometimes it's like, hey dude, like, I've looked up to you. It might be a little bit shaky, but he had a very great game.
Konate is a very young player still. You have to bear in mind he's only 22, but he's actually bigger than Virgil van Dijk, and he's faster, which is incredibly impressive. So really a lot to look forward to in the future. And he was our only major signing of the summer, so we had to get it right.
50 million.
And
some people spend a lot more.
40 million. 40 million actually. So I mean, for a centre back, you with Ben White and Ibrahim Konate, these kind of figures you're going to have to pay for a decent ball playing centre back. And he got position. He was out of position a few times. It wasn't the easiest start at the beginning against Ronaldo out on the wings, but then you saw his pace up against Dalot. United had no answer in terms of just stretching the back line. And that for me was very impressive. But I want to touch on that point that Sevel made, just in terms of with the Liverpool system as it is, you can bring in a player and it doesn't compromise the way the team plays. And that is a testament to Klopp and how he has designed this team. I hate to bring this back to United, but it's something that a lot of rival fans picked up on. What is the Ole way? Because if you take one player and change him for another player, the entire system of United changed. And that for me as an opposition fan, I saw that for myself. I was like, geez.
Well, they get better with 10 men on the field, bro.
We do.
The thing
the foot was off the gas. The foot was off the gas by then. So are they really better?
Okay, gents.
No, I'd like to just on that point. The problem is we never ever see Man United making the change that you're talking about, because Ole has a core bunch of players that he trusts, and he doesn't trust anybody outside of that. And I think that's what's causing a lot of squad upheaval, is that he'd rather play an injured Maguire than a fully fit Eric Bailly. And Jesse Lingard
and Eric Bailly called him out on that.
Yeah, Jesse Lingard comes on, makes a case for himself every time he comes on, but never gets a look in. The same can be said for Matic. Matic, every time he's come on off the bench, has made an impression, but yet is isolated from the team. And I think the fact is that Ole is starting to have a problem insofar as that he's played this favoritism card. In previous seasons we've sort of said, well, there isn't much else. So if we look at the Europa League final, we're going, what can he do off the bench? He's now got a bench. He's got a squad. He's got an enormously good, talented squad that he doesn't really know how to use. And I think that's the problem. I think, as I said in last week's podcast, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done a really good job till now. He's rebuilt Man United. Yeah. He's got United to where they need to be, but he's struggling. He's really struggling to take that step up. And one of the problems is that it's not just Ole Gunnar Solskjaer learning on the job. It's also Michael Carrick. It's also Kieran McKenna. It's also a bunch of other backroom staff. Ed Woodward was learning on the job. We're about to change CEOs to have Richard Arnold learning on the job. And the fact of the matter is Man United have too many people in high-profile positions learning on the job. And I think that's one of the major issues at the club right now, is that people are learning on the job.
And that just reminds me of Arsenal. But Dean, you're playing Manchester United this weekend. I want you to humiliate Manchester United as much as I hate Tottenham, and I think you can allow Harry Kane to win, but I don't think. But how are you feeling coming into the clash against Manchester United with all the drama that's happened over the past couple of days?
Guys, this game on Sunday has been touted as I'll sack you, from what I've seen on Twitter. Both teams are in a horrendous position. Both coaches have absolutely no idea what they're doing. So I'm, as a Spurs fan, I'm petrified because we all know the Ole bounce that was happening last season, and whether or not that can still happen this season, I doubt it will. But as I've said before, I think Spurs are the perfect team United need to play right now to get confidence, because Spurs defense is leaky. We don't press at all. And a lot of the United problems come from putting pressure on McFred and then that back line. And then it kind of filters through the rest of the team where everyone's just trying to do something because no one else is. And then they start falling apart. So I think if I was a United fan, I'd be very happy about playing Spurs this weekend, because we're not going to push the way Liverpool did. I would even say we're not going to push the way West Ham did when they played United. So I think Sir Alex Ferguson probably knows that. I think the board at United know that. And I reckon if United go again and win at Spurs, which I think they're playing at Old Trafford, or if they're playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it doesn't really matter. Spurs are going to lose that game. And I think it would paper over some of the cracks from a United fan perspective.
It's a home game for you.
Yeah, so it doesn't make a difference, to be honest. I think the one shining light which may come is if Son decides to rock up, he can cause havoc for that back line, and he may be able to then put some of that pressure on. But in terms of the other guys, maybe Ndombele and Son can do something. Kane doesn't look like he's interested in even going to training at the moment, so kind of count him out.
Wait, what?
And I reckon Rashford. Kane's going to training, but
what's going on with Kane?
No, Kane's going to training, but I mean, you look at that game against West Ham. It was like the guy was more interested in the NFL that was going on that evening with Tom Brady.
He honestly doesn't care.
He has no care about football for Spurs at the moment. So we have to play him because he's our only striker other than Dane Scarlett, who's shame. He's a poor 18-year-old kid. There's no ways he can lead the line. So we have to play Kane just because we have no other recognized striker. If we don't play Kane and the front 11, we go and lose to Vitesse in the Conference League. So it's very much a tale of two teams are in the same position. We both have only 11 players that can actually play. Those 11 players have very big flaws. The manager have very big flaws. And that's why, from that perspective, it's going to be literally a game of who's worse. So
I quickly want to ask you about Nuno. Do you think he's the wrong man for the job? I mean, he has the Premier League experience.
He's always been the worst wrong for the man. He's always been the wrong man for the job. He was 6th choice for a reason. He doesn't feel like a Spurs. He doesn't feel like a Spurs coach. He feels like an interim coach. If you have a look at some of the stats, we are lowest for expected goals that we're going to score.
Expected goals.
Under Ryan Mason.
I thought you guys don't believe in expected goals. I was like,
let's just say we are low. I think we're 18th for chances created in the league, right? Under Ryan Mason, in these 6 games he took over and in interim, we were at least 6th. So at least we created more chances under Ryan Mason than we did under Nuno, and that says a lot about. Okay, the squad was in a different position, but it says a lot about what Nuno has done to the team, which a lot of Spurs fans thought, okay, Nuno's coming in, he's going to solidify the defense, and then the attack is already there, so he'll just build on it. The man's broken the whole system. So
what if Mourinho was just a good manager?
Nuno is just Jose Mourinho without the trophies. So,
that's how it is. So let's move on to the next one. And the second topic we wanted to talk about is Ole. What happens now, AB? How does he save his job? Or is he just walking the plank because it's Spurs, then it's City, and then there's a 2-week international break, which if City smack you hard, could be a very, very long one because it is what it is. Is his job in trouble? What are you hearing? Or do you want him out? What's going on with Ole, and how does he save his job?
I don't think he can save his job right now. I think the United board need a month, which is the 2 weeks now, the 2-week international break, to find someone. Because I really don't believe right now there's anyone out there who's available who can take United to that next level. There's no Tuchel available. There's no Klopp available.
Conte?
So Antonio Conte is a winner, but he's just like the Jose Mourinho sort of manager. He's going to come in. He's going to go with a back three, which players we don't really have to fit in this back three, back five, whatever you want to call it. We don't have fullbacks who are capable enough to deliver balls into the box that are going to cause defenders trouble. We don't. Wan-Bissaka cannot cross.
Do it. Oh, okay, sorry, fullback. Sorry, I thought you were talking about ball playing.
Yeah. I mean, we got centre backs. That's fine. But sorry, these fullbacks are just average. Alex Tellez is a fullback who can't defend. And then you've got Fatty McFatface, Luke Shaw, who has been terrible.
Hey, you guys can't trade that quickly. At the beginning of the season, man was Roberto Carlos. Now you're calling him Fatty McFatty.
Guys, just because he missed his hits. What is happening? You guys are fickle. No, sus. This man was
So I think what needs to happen. Look, my opinion is, why give Ole 3 games? You're hearing all these 3-game nonsense. Just to save his job. It's kind of like, you're dangling the stick, and you're saying, okay, cool, you've got 3 games. Now half the players know that if they don't perform these 3 games, he's going to go, which is what half of them want. If you're going to believe some rumors, whereas half are going to say, no, guys, we're going to try. So you've got this culture in the dressing room that's fighting against each other when they should be fighting against Spurs, Atalanta, and City. So if I was a United player, if I was not Harry Maguire because he's shit, but if I was like Scott McTominay, what do I do? Because McTominay loves the club. He's a Manchester boy. He likes Ole. The whole dressing room like Ole because he's a nice guy. He's a lacquer oak. You can have a beer with him. But you're thinking that this guy doesn't know what he's doing on the pitch. So do you try your hardest, or do you just sit back and wait for him to get fired? But then who's going to come in? It's a very difficult place to be. So I think the board should have maybe just fired him, gotten an interim coach, looked for the best candidate for the job, which I don't even know who it is. Is it Ten Hag? Is it Pochettino?
Big Sam.
Big Sam.
Yeah.
Big Sam.
I mean, is it Brendan Rodgers? Brendan Rodgers would be quite cool.
Why would you take Liverpool's leftovers?
But apparently,
hey man, Liverpool's leftovers.
Arsenal. They're becoming Arsenal. That's what Arsenal.
Look at Danny Ings, for example.
Tell everyone who you want.
Yeah. Wahid, I was going to ask you that, but I thought the question was, you're not going to fire Ole until someone better came along. So who's that person that you are wanting the board to wait for while you guys are seeing flames?
I don't know. I truly don't know. And as Jean was saying there, Jean was talking about the fact that Rodgers is biding his time. Brendan Rodgers has his eyes on the Man City job, whether we like that or not. And he's the type of manager who will fit into their ethos and their philosophy. And they've created that ethos and philosophy from before the time Pep even got to that job. They got the directors of football in that they needed to start creating that philosophy. And the problem with Man United right now is that it's helter-skelter at a boardroom level. They have no idea what they're doing. Just look at post-Ferguson. It's Moyes, Giggs, Van Gaal, Mourinho, and Solskjaer. There's nothing similar between those managers. There's absolutely nothing. There's no golden thread linking those people together. There's no overarching philosophy in their appointment, and they've kind of gone with the idea that with Solskjaer we're going back to the Man United way, TM, whatever that means.
This Man United way nonsense.
I truly don't know what it means right now. It's changed so much that I don't know what it means. Sorry?
Did you not feel like? I remember United fans being like, Ole at the wheel, the spirit of United is there.
I felt it.
And,
I must be honest. Yes, at times I felt that Ole was doing the job in returning Man United to what Man United was, because what he inherited was a very broken club, a very broken team and a broken club. And we have we have reached a point where it is looking and feeling a bit more like Man United. But as I said, I'm not sure that Ole is going to bring us sustained success, which is part of the Man United way, TM. And who that next person is, I'm not sure. What I am afraid of is writing off a season. Writing off a season right now would be would be when we fire Ole with no plan, because we could fire Ole and appoint Darren Fletcher as the interim manager. Darren Fletcher could then have 10 games and he could be appointed as manager, because this is the type.
That's what happened last time.
No, that's what's going to happen with Solskjaer.
This is the type of thing that Man United do. That is literally the type of Man United do. They'll have some form of feel-good factor, and they'll make a stupid decision. They make stupid decisions left, right, and center, like giving Phil Jones and Eric Bailly new contracts. I mean, those are stupid boardroom decisions. And I very much fear that the appointment of the next boss is going to be another stupid decision. So whether that is appointing Conte, that might well be another stupid decision, because there'll be no golden thread to tie what we are right now.
I can tell you what the golden thread is. I can tell you what the golden thread is. It's failure. But for me, and I'm going to go to Jean, because you had a comment, but when Klopp came in, Klopp was different. It wasn't Liverpool style of football, and he had to build it. This thing of Man United way is holding them back, and they'll realize it once they are like 10 years in. Talk to us about how Klopp was coming in and the resistance many had, because Klopp had a similar start to Solskjaer, essentially.
He did in terms of results, but that's pretty much where it ended, because he had his clear philosophy from the very beginning in terms of. Sorry. Look,
That's so much,
isn't it?
No mercy.
No. But you saw such a clear philosophy in terms of playing in between the lines, dropping your striker into a false position to allow your wingers and your wing backs to create, that attacking threat, which was something that hadn't really been seen in the Premier League before, to that effect. I mean, having your fullbacks as your main creators. And even in the days of Moreno and Nathaniel Klein as fullbacks, Klopp was still utilizing that kind of philosophy. Pep as well, when he came into City, they didn't finish that high, but you could see straight away that philosophy coming in. And it meant that as the better players came in, they could buy into that philosophy quicker and they could grow the team. And it just became that philosophy with better players. I would say that United would do not bad to appoint Graham Potter as their next coach.
Graham Potter's not leaving.
To United, that is a very, very difficult job to turn down.
And Paul, look, just to echo Jean's sentiments here. Think about the players Klopp signed. He signed players to fit his philosophy. He signed the Manes, the Robertsons. He didn't splash a ton of cash, but the players he signed, he took them from very good Premier League players or very promising Premier League players to world-class players. Ole has not done that at all.
And like we said, Harry Kane was available in the summer and you guys didn't want to take him. John, yes?
I must go, guys.
Sure. Thank you very much, John.
John.
Really
Having you, mate.
Having you on. Dean, final words for the three there. Okay, now Dean's up at the top now. What's the scoreline this weekend?
At the bottom.
What's the scoreline between Spurs and
Can we just
United?
reorder this?
I reckon 3-1 to United.
No, man. You guys going to score 3 goals? Are you guys going to put the ball into your net 3 times?
I wouldn't. Eric Dyer's playing in defense. He did it against Newcastle. But the one thing I will say on this whole Ole chat is, and I mentioned it before, United are in the same position Chelsea were under Lampard last year this time. And they went and did what they did, got Tuchel in, won the Champions League, and are now the favourites to win the Premier League this season. So whatever moves United go and do now, if I was a United fan, I would benchmark it against that. It's the same thing. They had a club legend. They lost their ethos of the club or the philosophy. The guy spent massive amounts of money, brought in a coach who knows how to use them, and he used them to their best potential, and he's gone and done what everyone knows Chelsea's gone and done. Well, can United do the same? Yeah, it's all because of the coach. But
who's the coach?
I like Ten Hag. Ten Hag,
I don't think
he should go to Barcelona, actually. No,
Ten
never
Hag
mind.
doesn't
He
leave
goes to Barcelona,
Ajax at the moment, though. He signed that extension in the summer because I know, because I was researching him for a week because I thought he was coming to Spurs. So,
Are we out on Zidane? Are we just out on Zidane?
I don't think Zidane is the guy either. I mean,
Why
if I was a
not?
United fan,
How?
I'd choose Conte. I choose
You
Conte.
guys
I don't know
think
why guys
Zidane
don't
was
choose Conte.
carried by Cristiano throughout all
Guys.
those Champions League wins.
I think United need a superstar manager. That's what you guys need. Someone that can actually like Zidane. Like he's able to handle personalities. He's able to give that,
Doesn't want the
BMT
job.
type of vibe. Yeah, I wouldn't want the job either. But
Why wouldn't he want
give
the
him-
job?
give him the money.
Why
I
wouldn't
think Zidane has
Zidane
his
want
eyes
the
on that.
job?
From what I've read, he has his eyes on that PSG job, and what I suspect you might see is if Pochettino continues to struggle to juggle
Don't talk
those.
about Poche. It's a sensitive topic.
If Pochettino struggles to handle those egos in Paris, I think you might see a situation where United bite the bullet with Ole in the hope of Pochettino making the move at the end of the season and Zidane taking over at the Parc des Princes. I think that may happen. Pochettino has flirted with United. It's well reported that it is a club that he has dreamt about managing, that he would be desirous of managing. The problem is, again,
That is an absolute lie. He's never said that.
are you willing to take on a manager who's done a very good job at Espanyol, a very good job at Spurs, and a very good job at Southampton? But none of those clubs are of the stature of Man United. Would he be able to take Man United and treat them very differently to a Southampton who are punching above their weight? A Spurs
He cannot win the league with
with due
PSG.
respect, were punching above their weight.
He
can't win the league with
win the league with
PSG.
PSG. He's on top of the
How?
league.
He hasn't won it yet.
Yes, but he's
They
struggling.
played 11 games.
You need God.
He didn't win the
They
league
played
last year.
11
with
games,
them.
won 9.
He didn't win the league at
Pep
PSG.
Guardiola literally in the first season.
When did he
didn't
come
win the
into
first-
it, though?
Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah,
January.
but I mean,
You can't just say that.
He
Came in last year.
it's an uncontested league. He should
Where
not.
was PSG?
not an
Where was
uncontested
PSG when Poch came in? Where was PSG when Poch came in?
No one should be losing a title at PSG. It's that simple. It's
Okay,
that
You can't
simple.
blame
okay,
Poch
guys.
for that. You
Okay,
are
guys, calm
ridiculous.
down.
You don't deserve that.
Calm
More
down.
respect.
You don't
This guy deserves
deserve
more
more.
respect. More
Okay.
respect.
All I'm getting here from this conversation is that the coaching market is dry, unless you want to take a punt on a young coach. And Manchester United is probably going to wait until one of the other chess pieces move, i.e. Ronald Koeman gets fired at Barcelona, and then people start moving around and openings
Ronald
happen.
Koeman. That guy just failed
No,
upwards.
he's not going to go to Manchester United, but you need him to move out for managers to start moving around. Yes,
To be
I don't know
fair,
if that will be. I don't know if that will be the one to move because I think it's Koeman out, Xavi in. It's very
Breaking-
That
simple.
sounds
And
good.
breaking
Yeah.
news
Breaking
today.
news.
it might be somewhere else.
Breaking news: a former United player has announced that he wants to go into coaching or management, and this wouldn't surprise me. But John O'Shea has announced that he wants to go into coaching and management, so it makes sense that United will hire him as interim manager. I mean, give him a 3-year contract because that's
Okay.
what we do. There you go.
Okay.
Ole.
Okay, the two Wahid and AB scoreline this weekend against Spurs. Is it a loss or is it a draw? Is it a win?
It's a loss. United lose 2-0.
Serious?
Yeah.
You have the best player on the field though,
Who?
His name is
Cristiano.
Bruno Fernandes.
and Bruno. Yes,
Bruno
you've got Son,
Fernandes.
who's great, but you've got Bruno and you can win the game with just the two.
No. We lose 2-0.
Okay, cool. Dean saying
was
Spurs is
so
going to lose.
I'm going to give you our next 3 results right now. 1-1 with Spurs,
Yeah.
2-1 to Atalanta, 4-0 to Manchester City.
Only 4.
Okay,
You think City
so
will hit you for less?
So the draw with Spurs, a loss to Atalanta, and being smacked around by City. That's
And
my
Ole
prediction.
gets fired.
That sounds
Next day.
accurate. Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
Ole
wouldn't be
gets fired
surprised.
the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, gents. Thank you very. You heard everything. You heard all the predictions. What a great show it was. Thanks to Jean Emile for joining us as well. Just watch out for our FPL show, which we will release on Thursday. There's some interesting things. I'm seeing Arsenal players creeping into people's teams, so that's a good thing for me. But outside of that, have a good day, good weekend, enjoy the football, and le sale cacajizo.